welcome to ReikiCafe Radio. I'm your host, Christine Renee, and I'm super excited to join our call this episode with Pamela Downes. And before we dive into all of the amazing work that Pamela is doing these days as a visionary and psychic and Reiki practitioner, and all of the amazing things, I wanted to give everyone a quick couple of announcements for Reiki Cafe University. We are officially launching our Soul Rising Shamanic Reiki program. And so I wanted to, if you're interested in learning how to journey into the shamanic realms, if you're wanting to learn how to incorporate Reiki as a shamanic gift, if you're wanting to really uncover and heal your inner childhood wounds, this is the program for you. Be sure to check in our show notes and check out ReikiCafeUniversity.com for more information. And now, moving on and to our guest for today, I'm super excited to welcome on Pamela Downes, who is a visionary founder of the Spirit Calling, a transformative online community dedicated to guiding individuals through their own spiritual awakening. After the passing of her father, witnessing his transition sparked Pamela's profound journey to understand energy and life beyond this physical form. She is all about exploring energy healing, plant medicine, and having these profound experiences that really opened up her psychic and clairvoyant abilities. And so we're bringing her on for our 7th and final week for going through the chakras and having these chakra focus, because crown chakra is really literally like your work. So thank you so much for coming on the call today. Please let us know what you want to add to that introduction. Tell us a little bit about your story and what brings you to this point where you feel in alignment and communication with all of the spirit communication going on.
So much communication. So Christine, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so glad that we connected. I'm happy to be able to have a conversation with you today. So I'm Pamela Downes, the founder of Spirit Calling. It's an online global community for seekers, for people who are going through their spiritual awakening journey. When I started my journey in 2008 and 2012, it was ignited by the passing of my father. And watching, his life force energy leave his body and saying, where did he go? I know he's laying here before me, but where did he go? The essence of him is gone. So it just started this devouring of information, wanting to understand, watching videos, reading books, having conversations, going to events, talking to people to understand energy. And, those paths often involve practitioners doing energy healing, shamanic journeys. That was one of them that was really profound in my life. And then, doing plant medicine. And so as you evolve and as you're on this journey and as you're devouring and as you're expanding and as you're, going the path and meeting new people, you start to try different things because you're ultimately healing trauma and releasing negative, energy from your body. And so the plant medicine thing opened me up to this whole world where I'm connecting and communicating and receiving downloads and visions and guidance. And I'm, transmitting messages of support from our guides. We can talk all about that for our community. So I'm working in that crown chakra all the time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right, Christine? That's ultimately our goal.
Yeah. And I feel like when you have that experience of supporting someone through their death and dying process, it just, you get really close to that thinning of the veil and you're just right there with them. Yeah. I know that personally in my family, I'm kind of the person that family calls when someone's in that process because, it's easy for me to communicate. And did you find that, was it this aha moment afterwards where you're like, oh, I really want to connect? Or was it something that was happening before as well? Before the actual event?
Of like the understanding of love was happening before my father passed. The understanding of like organized religion wasn't fitting into this vision that I had, and my understanding started increasing. And I started understanding that if God is love, and how could God judge me when I pass and tell me whether or not I'm living and having an eternal life? I believe that that is my gift already given to me. And there are no boundaries and restrictions on that. And when I started understanding that, there was just this barrier around my family that they couldn't understand my proclamations. Like, they're like, I don't understand what you're saying. Does that mean that you believe in Jesus, that you don't believe in Jesus? Because I grew up Catholic. And I was like, no, I love him. I've always loved him since I was a little girl. I still believe in him. I just don't believe he had to die on a cross for me to have eternal life. And I have such a profound, amazing like relationship with him now. And as I have since I was a little girl. But you start to, I was trying to figure out what to raise my kids in. What is my faith? How can I raise someone else if I don't understand what I believe in? And I just wasn't going down this path of what I was told to believe in any longer. So that's what happened prior to my
Yes.
father's death. And
Yes.
then my father died, and they actually went to a psychic medium workshop. And I was just starting to also understand the law of attraction. I just found Abraham Hicks,
Mhm.
and it's a whole story, but I lost everything in the recession, lost my home, my retirement, lost all of our friends, lost our belongings, lost everything. And I found Abraham Hicks, and I heard Esther talking about, you attract what you think about. The energy that you put out is what you receive back. And I started understanding that. And I started like playing with the universe and doing little tests and seeing produce what I was putting out. And as I started to understand that, like experiences would happen to me, like major things, like selling my house within 24 hours. That's happened twice in my life, by the way.
Mhm.
And I got invited to the psychic mediumship gallery that I really wanted to go to. And that people that I thought were my friends really weren't my friends, were all deciding to go without me. And in the back of my mind, I was like, damn, I wanted to go to that. Why wasn't I included? And suddenly a ticket came my way. I didn't have to pay for. I had a babysitter line. Everything worked. And I got to see the psychic medium. And he came right over to me in this small little gallery, and he said, your father's here. And I said, what? And they were like, your father's here. Your father wants you to know that he didn't tell you how talented you are. And I was raised a musician. I was trained classically, and I was an artist. And I didn't know then, but I was a singer and performer later in my life. And my father was an alcoholic, abusive, verbally, mentally, physically. And we didn't have a loving relationship. I feared him. And so when the psychic said, your father wants to say he's sorry, and he didn't tell you that he loved you, and he didn't tell you how talented you were. And the psychic medium said, your father says that he admires the way you're living your life, and that he wish he had the courage to live his life that way. I mean, those moments that I'm getting chills now thinking about it, because it means something different to me now than it did then.
Yes.
And that was in 2008, 2012. And that was like the beginning, the forgiveness that I had from my father, and the understanding and all of that. That's what really was like that broke through everything. Because when you're able to forgive, your understanding of love just escalates like incredibly. And you're able to expand that love out in other ways, and grow your consciousness, and your spirit continue to expand. And like, you know, this could be like a 2 hour, 3 hour talk about just that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that I love that. I mean, I feel like our teacher presents themselves right when we need them the most,
Yes. Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so having this psychic medium just give you that validation through them from your father, I can see how that could be really transformative
Mhm.
and allow you to go, I've got to explore this even further.
Yes. I've
This
got to
is
explore this.
this is legit, and in this way, a profound healing opportunity for you to really let go and release all of the trauma that had happened prior.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
what was the next step? So did you dive
I
into
knew you were
study?
I knew you were going to say that. I could hear you say, what was the next step? And then you're like, what was the next step? Actually, Reiki. Reiki was like one of the next things. I had a friend who left her corporate job. She was a sustainability expert in New York City. She was top 30 under 30 with Forbes magazine, was like at the pinnacle of her career, like getting ready to even step into like her ideal job ever, ever, ever. And she left it all because she was being called to do energy work.
Mhm.
And she came to me and she said, I'm a branding and marketing expert. And she said, I need a website. I need a brand. I need your help. And I said, okay. And I decided in my mind, because I wanted to help her, I would do trade with her. And so she did Reiki, I did design, and we had like this relationship. And it actually turned into like this retreat down in Costa Rica on the top of a quartz crystal mountain with a shaman. And there was going to be like this whole like experience. And in my heart, I really wanted to do trade for that, but I didn't bring it up because Spirit would say, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. And then one day she came to me and she said, Pamela, do you want to do trade for the retreat? And I was like, yes, yes, I do. You know, that used to happen to me all the time.
Yes.
But I had no desire to learn to be a practitioner. I had no desire really to learn Reiki. It's the beginning of my clairs opening up. I had a knowing that I was supposed to do it. I had a knowing. And when I went, it broke me open. I had a past life come through when I was going through the final attunement at the end, and my throat chakra, like I had foaming at the mouth. I had a hanging happen, and I had all of the people around me and my shaman like trying to get me through this experience. I was scared to death. And it was the beginning of everything. That moment was the beginning of everything. And I often say, I learned energy. I learned about myself. It wasn't so that I could work on others. It was so that I can understand my energy system, my chakra system, how to manage energy myself, how to understand it. And that was a really huge, huge, like pivotal moment for me. And then everything started after that, you know,
Mhm.
everything
Yeah.
started after like all the things.
Yes. Yes. And
Yes.
I want to go back to just so our audience
Doesn't get
members can,
scared too.
yeah, well, I mean, we hear these stories all the time where the Reiki attunement or there's these other big spiritual awakenings that happen that
Hmm.
transform our life, but they're difficult in the moment, and that's
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
It's reconciling all of the energy that you've been holding tight for all of
Yes.
these years, and now here's the opening to release and let go. And one of the
Yes.
things that you said, that this was the awakening for your clairs. And so
Hmm.
for those that are listening, I just want to explain that a little bit, because if you're not familiar with the term, we do have a lot of resources at Reiki Cafe University on our blog and on our
Hmm.
podcast about the clairs. But the clairs are like these spiritual gifts that correlate with your sixth senses so that they can awaken and you're communicating with the beyond in some form or another through your sensories. And I love that for you and so many others, right? I hear this all the time. Like Reiki was the thing that opened and awakened their clairs and
Hmm.
their spiritual gifts, because I feel like, sometimes the Reiki community really wants to be like, this is Reiki and you're supposed to stay in your lane. This is your box.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
there are so many practitioners like yourself that it was the awakening moment that brought all of the spiritual gifts out. And now you can fully be the expansive you that you are
Yes.
and allow
Hmm.
everything to come through. And that is absolutely okay and welcome. And I love that. I just want to
Yeah.
exemplify, like, it is
Yeah.
okay not to
It is
fit in the
okay.
box.
Yeah, it is okay because everyone thinks Reiki is something different, and
Mhm.
is. It's an individual experience, like you just said. And I actually forgot that prior to that, maybe a couple of years, I went to a Reiki share. It was at a yoga studio, and there were like 5 or 6 practitioners working on one person, and they were like half-hour increments, and you lay on a yoga mat and wait. I was the last one. I did it on purpose because I just wanted to have the space to myself. And when I got up there, they started working on my heart. Something happened in my heart, and this welling came up. I started releasing and howling, and I was embarrassed because I didn't know. I had never done Reiki. I thought it was like, yeah, I didn't know what it was. And when I was done, um, this woman, like there were 5 of them, I think. This woman came over to me and she goes, "You're an empath. Are you an empath?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I think I am." I didn't even know what that was. That was how long ago it was, you know? And that was probably the very first thing. But the one down in Costa Rica, because we were eating vegan, I hadn't had alcohol in like 2 weeks, nor did I have caffeine. And we were vibing so high, and we were so clean. And I had a headache because the vibration on that mountain was so high. I was in the beginning of all of it. I mean, it feels like it was so long ago, but it wasn't. It wasn't. And sometimes that can happen too, right? We have to talk about that, Christine. It's like sometimes things can, once things open, it can just start opening and impacting everything very quickly. And that's what's happening on the planet now with all the light workers that are being called up to rise
Yes.
and step
Well, and
into
I,
their
I
gifts.
love that, like it was a friend who like got out of the corporate world. And so many, like, I think that is happening again and again and again. And I love that the timing of this conversation, because I'm just about to go to Costa Rica. So I'm like, I'm on my way to a retreat in Costa Rica. And I know it's just going to be a magical opportunity to go even deeper. And it helps people realize, like, there's always more, like the process doesn't end. It's not like a checklist
No.
where, like, yep, I did that inner child work and I connected with my guides and done. It's like this ongoing
No.
process,
Yes.
always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It is
Yeah.
definitely an ongoing process. And we'll continue to talk about the evolution of what happened to get me to be able to channel. Like, I watched a movie once when I was starting to wake up, like right around that time that my dad, died, and I was devouring books. The first book I read was Many Masters, Many Lives by Dr. Brian Weiss. And then I read Talking to Heaven, but I was very into like death and life after death. And I started understanding past lives. I watched a movie called Tuning to Channel or something like that. And it was 5 different channelers. And the person the director of the movie, asked each channeler separately, like all these questions, the same exact questions. And they answered the same exact questions. And then they put them in where all the same questions were together in the movie. And the answers were all the same, just different versions of the same. And when I used to go for a walk every night for an hour to get out of my house, to clear my space, my headspace, I would listen to this. And I would get so much knowledge and understanding from it. But I also had a knowing. I had a knowing that I was going to do it. I don't know why. I used to have knowings, but it was the beginning of me understanding my clairs. And they mentioned a book called Open to Channel, which I have behind me. And I read it, and it was always by my nightstand. And I knew I was going to do it, but I didn't know how. I didn't know when. I didn't know what that journey was going to look like. I didn't know it was going to be, in 5 years, 10 years. I didn't have any sort of understanding about that, just that I would do it. And through plant medicine and through healing trauma, releasing past life trauma, restructuring my energetic body, my soul, taking back those pieces and rebuilding my soul, my vibration would raise, my vibration would raise, my vibration would raise. And I was able to get to a point where my frequency was vibrating at a place where, angelic beings, different frequencies with different vibrations, were able to meet me. We were able to sort of meet each other so that I could be a vessel, and a transfer of energy could happen where I became like a vessel for to receive knowledge and to receive information and messages. So that took a while to kind of fine tune it, because we had to be on the same radio stations,
Exactly.
so there was some of this like tweaking going on for a while. And there was a lot of physicality to it because these frequencies were so incredibly high that I had to work on my energy body. I had to work at it too. It was a practice. It was getting myself in a place where I could be in receivership of it faster, more easily, understanding how to do it. They would talk through me. And so I can actually talk like Abraham, like Esther
Yes.
Hicks, Bashar, some of those people, Sarah Landon, Lee Harris. I kind of do that. And I do that. And then I do automatic writing, so I can close my eyes and then they come right in. They always want to talk. They always want to talk. They come right in, and I just feel this almost like a pouring of intense energy come in and expand my whole body. And then I just type like a demon. I don't really even know what I'm doing. And when I read the messages, I mean, they're unbelievable. So that's what I do for my community. I channel messages
Yes.
every week and every month for them. Yeah.
I
It's
love
really
that.
cool.
I love
Mm-hmm.
that. One that it took practice. It wasn't that, like, it was just a
Yes.
light switch. I think people think
No.
that, oh, it's just if when it's on and you're just there. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no, there's a progression, like, I can tune into my
Definitely.
guides, but at the same time, it takes work. How is my physical body? What am I eating?
Mm-hmm.
How am I taking care of myself? Like,
Oh,
what's my
yeah.
morning rituals? What's my nighttime rituals?
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm constantly tuning that radio station to get into the frequency of.
Mm-hmm.
So I love
Mm-hmm.
that you, like, spoke to that, like,
Mm-hmm.
because I think a lot of people think it's just a gift that we were born with, and then that's just it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I think there's some
No.
work to it.
Yeah, there is definitely work to it. And it was not easy work.
Yeah.
None of what I'm saying was easy. First of all, ayahuasca, everybody can talk about it and they could just act like they went and had happy hour somewhere.
It's not.
It is not. It is, it is the mother load. It is a calling, number one, that you receive. And I didn't even get into any of that. Like, I had a knowing. I was going down that rabbit hole on where did Jesus go? And he was like all the things, going down all these different rabbit holes. And somehow I uncovered plant medicine, and I uncovered it through like an ancient ritual of, it was used in different cultures through different times, all kinds of different plant medicine. And when I saw and heard ayahuasca, I just had this, like, it's like a button goes on. It's like a bing inside of me. And then I saw a video about a man named Jerry Powell who started Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. And he went to the jungles and he healed himself, and he created Rhythmia Life Advancement Center because of it. He was a hotelier. So he had the experience. Like, I love watching people's stories and how this ties to this, ties to this, ties
Yes.
to this. So he had all the experience, all the money, all the things to create this top resort that's safe, that has all the best of everything for a safe and wonderful experience doing this. And that's what I felt comfortable in. And when I saw it, I said, I know I'm going there. I don't know how I'm going there, but I'm going there. And I used to say to myself, how am I going to go do a class 1 hallucinogenic in the jungles in Costa Rica by myself? How am I going to do that? I'm like, you don't have to know. You don't have to know. Well, I wound up meeting somebody that introduced me to this man that I did trade with for work. And then I wound up becoming very close with him. And he was going to Rhythmia Life Advancement Center with a small group of high conscious people. One of them was a part owner of Rhythmia, and they were closing the whole place down. And they were only going to be 40 people there instead of usually like 100. And it's like Spirit was like, here you go. You don't need to figure this out. Like we said, we're putting you in this beautiful, small group of people. And I went there. At that work is intense. It's intentional. It is so impactful on your healing. Like, there were things I did generational healing. I had such profound experiences. Every night was different. And it was a giant step out of fear into knowing that you're doing something profound for your future, but you don't know what it is, but you knew that you're supposed to do it. And this woman was there. Her name was Morning Star. She almost mothered me. She had her hand on my back when we would go up to receive Grandmother Aya. And my whole entire body was shaking. I was scared. I was really, really scared every time I went up. And it was multiple times for 4 nights in a row. By the end of that journey, I did so much healing work. We did a breath work class, and I had a white light come through my third eye, down all of my centers. My whole entire body just blew up and was with love frequency. I've had that one other time in my life. And I heard everything has changed. Everything will be different. Your psychic abilities have been enhanced. Everything will be different from this moment on. And that was in November of 2019. And then 2020, COVID came. And instead of like sitting in front of that television and sucking in all that negative vibration and getting stuck in narratives and like getting myself down, 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 I chose every morning. This is the work. Every stinking morning for 1 to 2 hours, I tapped in and I worked on connecting with those guides to tune that frequency, to tune that communication, to tune that vibration, to get to a point where I was channeling angelic beings, masters, galactic beings, divine feminine beings, messages that were beautiful. And I was having experiences at night. I was having premonitions and downloads and messages about our futures and our future on the planet. And I know about world events that are coming. And like, it was like a boom, you ready, girl? This is what's coming. Like, get ready.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
love that story, because I
Yeah.
think, there's a lot of, perception of what ayahuasca is. And
Mhm.
I think that plant medicine, when it's done properly and in such a sacred held space, it can have profound, lasting experiences that really help you clear so much from your past so that you can really come into your true authentic self and be open and ready for whatever that calling is. And that was your spirit calling. And I love that. And I love that you took the pandemic as an opportunity to put yourself in your own boot camp in a way to,
Totally.
right? Like this wasn't
I did.
a lightweight, oh, I'll do it when I can. It was like, no,
No.
this is an energetic commitment to myself and to spirit that I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the work and I'm going to fine tune this. So well done.
Thank you. I had to. It was like, I had to. I had the knowings. And in the middle of the night, I woke up and I heard spirit calling, spirit calling. And that's what happened. I was getting just like every night I was getting messages and messages, and I had journals by my bed and recordings, and it's all starting again. All of it is starting again. So I've just been recording and journaling and getting messages and visitations and all kinds of stuff again.
I'm like, is this a thing right now? Because I'm in the same place. Like
everyone is.
I'm downloading, I'm getting messages, they're showing up. Like I'm seeing new energy forms. I had the cutest little green spirit that landed on my chest the other night and was like, and we're doing this with your business and we're changing this and we're doing that.
Oh, cool.
And like, I'm like, I don't know who you are, but let's go.
Let's do it.
I'm okay with that. Like, but I just feel like, this isn't the first time I've heard like recently, like a lot of people are waking up right now. And I love that there's more acceptance in today's world of going, it's not uncommon for you to leave your corporate job or this whole quiet quitting or whatever. I think everyone is online to be in a position to wake up or kind of fall with the empire.
Well, that's why I created Spirit Calling. They told me, they said, there's going to be a glass ceiling that breaks. I mean, I saw it. I saw the visual. The glass ceiling's going to break. Humankind is going to be standing, stopped in their tracks. They're going to look up and they're not going to know what their world is, who they are, what they have believed in, and they need a place to land. And you are to create a portal for humankind to help them through this journey. And I was like, a portal for humankind? I'm like, that's like, you mean a website? Like, what is that? Like, I mean, I'm serious. I'm at a point now where I'm like, yes, I lead this global spiritual online community. And I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm honoring spirit, and I am, showing up every stinking day to do this. This isn't my full-time job, but it is my full-time job. It's my passion. I believe in it so much. And like you said, you feel like everyone is shifting and expanding right now. They are. The text that I'm getting, which I just got, I'm in the middle of the store and I'm breaking down. I'm in my car and I'm crying, and I'm in the middle of surrender, and I'm in the middle of this, and I'm in the middle of that. And someone that in our portal, in our community right now, is having, in their head, they're feeling like sick. The ascension symptoms are incredible. I created this. Spirit created this. You don't have to be alone. Yes. You don't have to be alone, because that's really the hard part, is being alone. I don't have anyone to talk to. I just figured it out along the way.
Right. As did I, and I think that's why there's people like us who are so drawn to, I've got to build community, because I was alone, and I don't want anyone to go through what I went through doing it by themselves.
Yes.
And I think you're absolutely spot on. There are so many people right now who are going through those big, it's time to break the generational curses. It's time to heal all of that inner childhood wounding. We're at a place where it's now, I think we've come to a place, even in our society, where mental health isn't this stigma. We're ready to heal. We're ready to do the work, and women are stepping up to lead the way in that. And I think there's definitely a transition from the, male dominant energy to look, we can choose a softer, easier way. And when that glass ceiling breaks, I saw it as soon as you put it in, the flood of visions came. I'm like, I totally see that, where you can literally see the multidimensional universe beyond, and it's going to freak people out. They're not going to understand it. They need leaders who understand what that looks like.
Yes. Yeah. And when our portal was first being established, I had a friend, a partner, because I kept hearing, it's time to build portal. It's time to build the portal. It's time to build the portal. And I'm always teetering on my two businesses, and we're always sort of expanding and working on the same sort of projects at the same time. It's kind of crazy. And I always knew that it needed to be for the person in this vision that we just described with, that person. And it started having a different perspective, more for like someone who's already been on the path. But it's not what it is. It's for the person who's just beginning the journey. And it's amazing because
Yeah.
it's what's needed. It's really what's
Yes.
needed. Um, I go to networking events. I go to meetings. I go everywhere I go. I go to the coffee shop. I'm talking about spirit. Everyone wants to talk about spirit. Everyone wants to talk about, I'm seeing angel numbers. I'm seeing, what does that mean, Pamela? I was talking to someone, it was about a health insurance or something. And next thing I know, we're talking about angel numbers, or we're talking about, I mean, it's constant with me. I'm walking into Whole Foods and I meet someone in the parking lot. I was walking into the same, I swear, I'm talking about Anunnaki and ancient civilizations and our world, and it's all the time. It's because people are not accepting the narrative anymore. They're
Yes.
not accepting the narratives. They're not
Yeah.
accepting that we have to. Why is Africa the way it is? Why
Right.
why why are people suffering and dying and they don't have food? It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
The stories, they don't work anymore.
Yep.
It's all
Absolutely.
changing.
It's
And so
all changing.
people want to understand. And social media has been a super spreader for so many things, right? And we love it and we hate it, but there's been an awareness. There's been an
That's it.
awareness that's,
Yeah.
yeah, right, exactly. It's a love hate. But there's been an awareness, and you know, I'm trying to get my messages out all the time. I'm trying to get my premonitions out as uncomfortable as they can be. I know that I'm supposed to share my vision. So in my portal, all my dreams have been starting again. I just started a group for my dreams where everyone can share. And I've been having experiences for more future events. Again, the time is getting close. Things are shifting, and I can feel it kind of escalating. So, you know, as this happens, and I receive more and more downloads, I'll be sharing more and more of those with them. So, I'll keep you posted. If there's something that I feel like you need to know or your community needs to know, for sure.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything that you've recently released that you feel would be appropriate for our audience? Like anything that you feel like you would like to share at this point to give hope, inspiration, like you're just keep going, like we need to do the work.
Right. Well, I think that you're doing the same thing. I'm trying to see a channel message that I sent to my team. The channel message and the channel messages that we're getting very, very frequently. It's what you're doing. You need to work on your individual vibration. So you need to go within. You need to understand where you need healing. You need to turn the nonsense off. You need to stop spending time doing things that are not serving you. Conversations, experiences, people, food, habits,
Television.
television. Like they need to be, everything needs to be put to the foreground and reviewed, because you need to work on your vibration. Because when a fear wave comes, which is what they told me, and the fear wave comes, you need to be able to rise above it. So you need
Yes.
to work on your personal vibration. If you don't, you're not going to survive it. You need to rise above it. And when you're doing that, you're also holding space for I can't remember how many people you're holding space for when you're vibrating high, but you're supporting the expansion of the collective, not only with your individual vibration, but on a larger frequency. So there was a really cool channel message that happened, I guess 2 days ago or 2 or 3 days ago. It was for our community. And it was basically about honoring yourself and the love that you give so freely to everyone else, that you need to give it to yourself, that you're worthy of it. You are worthy of loving exchanges. You are worthy of loving experiences. The holidays are hard, and we all have dynamics in our family or our social circles or whatever it may be. And the guides are saying that you have the power to honor yourself, and to maintain your frequency and to know what you will, accept and what you won't. And so you get to take a moment before you enter into an exchange or an experience, ground yourself, go into your heart space, get prepared, If you need to take a moment when you're in that space, walk outside, take a breath, and have patience and love and compassion and kindness for yourself. Really,
Yes.
truly. That's the
Yes.
that's the supporting message of the season.
Yes. I that so resonates and obviously goes right along with the message I share with our community all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I had to find mantras for myself, just affirmations for myself, not necessarily mantras, but
Mm-hmm.
things that I could tell myself so that I would stay motivated in the self-care, the radical self-love, because we have been in a society that has told us that we're not worthy and we're not beautiful and we're not good enough and all of these things. And we have to counteract it. And for me, it was like, the more time I give to myself, the more my business will expand. Like I needed something,
Yes.
right? And so the
Yes.
more I do self-care, the business continues to grow. And I'm like, yeah, because so much of the business depends on how's my energy doing? Am
Yeah,
I
because it's your
vibrating high,
energy.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so if
Absolutely.
that's like getting Reiki sessions every week, or if that's getting
Mm-hmm.
a cranial sacral massage, or if that's
Mm-hmm.
getting my nails, whatever it is, it doesn't really even matter as long as you're going, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of this. This is helping me. And so we have these, the, the energy that we're there, that we're healing through. And then part of it is that when we're in that state of like, yes, I'm worthy of this healing, I'm worthy of this work, the self Reiki, the whatever you're doing, whether it's the book is going to show up, the journal prompts is going to
Mm-hmm.
show up, whatever it is going to show up to help you guide you along that path. Like it will
Mm-hmm.
unfold before you every single step. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's so much fear of leaning into it. And I love that about the ayahuasca. Like you face all of your fears at once. You don't know if you
Oh,
are going to die in that experience because that's
oh,
kind of what
oh.
it feels like, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. And
Yes.
so
Ooh.
you don't necessarily have to go there. You
Mm-hmm.
can take it one day at a time going, what's that scary thing that I'm afraid of? And for me, recently it was like, I got sucked into scrolling, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
even we
Yes.
still do this, right? Like we will fall
Yes.
down sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I'm stuck
Mm-hmm.
because I know that if I freaking sit down and give myself an hour to journal, crazy stuff is going to happen and my whole life is going to change. Like I knew it, right?
Right.
Right. And
Yes.
so here I am for a month going, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore that feeling. I'm not going to look at it. And I'm going, fine, fine. Okay. Right. I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to do the things. And then it's
Yes.
bam, life changes. Everything
Yes.
changes. And like, I'm getting
Because
so
you're the
much.
center point. You're the center point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Can I
when we
read you
recognize
something?
that, yes,
Can I read you
please.
something? I'll read you an excerpt. It was a beautiful, beautiful message. I can't read all of it because it's, yeah, in the community, it's a special message for them, but it's titled Embrace the Awakening, Elevate Your Being, Cleanse Your Energy, and Ignite Love Within. Important measure. Well, this is really good. This is a good one. Important measures are being taken to ensure that you are enlightened beyond your current state through the development of humankind in its evolution of planetary changes. There is a current of energy coming to your planet soon, one that will enlighten you more, encapsulating energy within your being in a greater way. Participate in this exchange by preparing your body now for this transmission. Share your experiences within the portal. They're talking about our portal, releasing chaos and letting anxiety go from your body. It's so important to do that. That is a practice that needs to be done regularly. Release your exchanges from the holidays. Release your anguish and let your frequency return to its previous state. Let go of the turmoil that exists within your headspace. Let it all go. Write your exchanges so that you are igniting conversations which will allow you to shed the despair, heartache, annoyance, devilish behavior, or drunkenness from your being. Release it to the point that it no longer permeates your being. Let those exchanges be free of your energetic body. Listen to your community sound healing. That's something that we have within the community, but you can listen to that yourself. I'm sure there's a resource for that. Listen to the coursework. You guys have coursework. Take note of its resonance within your being. Take care of your vessel, for now is the beginning of the anguish that will be planet Earth. Give yourself the gift of silence. Give yourself the gift of fortitude. Give yourself the gift of knowledge. This is like gift. Get it? Holidays. Give yourself the gift of unexpected circumstances that elevate your mind, body, and spirit. Give yourself the frequency necessary for evolution. Give yourself the power to navigate through all of life's unexpected occurrences. That makes me shiver. Like, that's crazy. Give yourself the gift of love. Love for yourself, love for others who experience life with you. Live with the love you have for others that you care for so deeply for yourself. Give that same love to yourself, not withholding it from yourself. So often you keep that love in its entirety from yourself, holding back, not feeling worthy of it and all that it has to offer. And this goes on and on and on. I mean, it's
Yes,
beautiful. It's
it
beautiful. And
is.
then they give you a practice to do. So they're amazing. I mean, they know exactly what we need when we need it.
Do you just love your job? Because I love when, right? You know, like it's just
Yeah,
when you
I
kind of get
do.
into it, you're like, I love
Hmm.
this. I love
Hmm.
being able to be on the receiving end of this
Hmm.
wisdom and knowing that I'm able to support
Serving.
others. It's
Hmm.
very serving.
Hmm.
And it's not, we're not doing rocket science. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
these are messages that have been trying to come into the world for years and years,
Eons.
right? And
Hmm.
I think we're just finally opening our ears. We're finally opening our eyes. We're finally opening to our clairs. We're finally ready for this awakening that's coming
Hmm.
through.
Hmm.
And the world needs all of us. It
Hmm.
needs all of us to step into that leadership role, to awaken to ourselves, to continue to do the daily work so that whatever is coming, that we are prepared, just like you're
We're
saying. Oh,
prepared.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I
I love it. So
know.
tell everyone who's listening, how can they get involved with your community? How can they receive this wisdom? How can they get involved and be a part of the portal? Let us know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for letting me share that information because it's my life's purpose. It's my soul's work. We have completely, like, you get everything. There's a 7-day free trial. So there's no financial obligation whatsoever. You can go to the events, you can go to listen to the sound healings, you can interact with the community, you can do the free coursework, you can partake in the channel messages, and you can talk with other people. It's amazing. So we offer that to everyone. So it's spirit-calling.com, but you can also go and follow our YouTube channel, and I post messages up there and I post different events up there. So you can kind of get a feel for what's going on. And then we just became part of the Ethereal Network. We're going to be posting channel messages up there every month for people that are members of that. And so there's lots of exciting things that are happening. Um, I am going to be launching a new course in the new year. I'm not revealing what it is yet, but I'm repositioning and relaunching the platform. So by the end of this year, it'll be all new and beautiful and lots of really cool things for people to check out. So I would love for you to come and try and help your soul to expand and to listen to your spirit, honor it. If you're
Yes.
feeling that little bit of ignition in there, like, honor it. That's what I always tell everyone. Do it, do
Amazing.
it, do it.
I love it. Well, and we will have all of those links. Like that was a lot of information. We'll put all of those links in the show notes. So
Mhm.
be sure to check it out there and connect. We'll have all of Pamela's social media links as well as in the show notes. So follow, listen, participate. It's all for this higher good of all of it. I love it.
Yeah,
It just
for
gives me
everyone.
tingles. Yes.
Me too.
Yes. Thank you
You're
so much. I so appreciate
welcome.
all of the wisdom that you shared with us, your journey. I think so
You're
many people
welcome.
are on their own journeys right now. And it's so validating to hear like
Yeah.
it's work and we can do
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
We can do it. We have each other to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Beautiful.
thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. You're welcome.
Absolutely.